What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic Career Mode. This is episode number 36, and we will be kicking off our third season in charge of Nottingham Forest today. For the fixtures for August, as we do our pre-match conference for the game against Leeds, we'll play Leeds, Leicester, and Fulham to begin the campaign. Leeds and Leicester are away, both according to the game, derby games, although I don't think Leicester is much of a rivalry as people assume in real life. On the game, they play it up as a big rivalry. So starting the season with back-to-back rivalry games, Leeds, Leicester, very, very tough indeed. And then Fulham at home to round off the month. We're obviously coming off the back of a massive transfer window. We had that huge budget to back the team, as we obviously will be competing in the Champions League this season. £140 million given to us by the board. We spent it wisely, I think. Brought in good quality first team players, Isak, Phillips, Lodi, as well as Hummels and Ndombele for depth. We made about 60 million as well in sales, selling a lot of the depth players. So I'm quite happy with how this team is going into this season. As we look at the Leeds side, a couple of notable additions for them at both fullback positions. Serginho Dest and Nacho coming in. I actually did have an eye on Nacho, as he was a free agent, but we didn't end up snapping him up. Leeds, they won the Carabao Cup last season, although they finished, I think they finished 13th in the league. Yeah, they did win the Carabao Cup, knocking us out in the semi-finals, overturning a 3-2 deficit to win at the City ground. That was a tough loss for us, and then they beat Liverpool in the final. But yeah, they did finish about mid-table, just in the bottom half actually. So bit of a mess season for them. Obviously, Calvin Phillips as well, making his debut for us against the team that he came through the youth academy with. Played a lot of games for Leeds before he went on to City. Now returned to Ellen Road in a Nottingham Forest shirt. Well, going into the game, and 10 minutes in, you would have seen a crazy sequence of events. Turan had a couple cracks, and Lopez got a big block in as well, as we just couldn't clear our lines. Luckily, Leeds didn't punish us for that. Victor Syankov set off Taiwo Awoniyi, and I thought the net was going to ripple, as he releases the shot, the Golden Boot winner from last season, but the shot goes just wide. Leeds would take the lead in the Leeds would take the lead in the first half. New boys Dest and Baumgartner linking up to set up Turan for a nice, easy empty net finish. In the second half, Isak had a couple of shots, but didn't test the keeper too much, and then we made some notable subs. Ndombele coming on for his debut, whilst Brennan Johnson made his first appearance for 6 months. With just under 10 minutes to go, again we made some big changes. Awoniyi, Phillips and Maguire all coming off, as we just weren't connecting in this game. Unfortunately, the subs couldn't make a difference. We had a decent chance, I think. Awoniyi, Williams found Awoniyi and he chested it down, but it was a tame volley towards the goal. Apart from that, not really many chances. Isak tested Melier in the second half, forced him into a good save, but it was a relatively quiet season opener for us. A pretty disappointing 1-0 loss. Leeds take the win here. We obviously won here in the Carabao Cup last season, and I think we drew here in the league. So disappointing to come away with a loss to open the season. But not to worry, honestly, it's just one game. I still feel happy with this team. As Perot comes to us and he says he's concerned about his position now, Lodi's arrived. I mean, I'll be honest, Roman, you're not going to be starting the league now that Renan's in the squad. You're just not good enough. Lewis O'Brien's move to Marseille is confirmed for a decent price, I think, although the game disagreed. Villarreal came in with a huge £49 million bid for Syankov, but we say no. The Ukrainian, now 84 rated and still only 26. He's the perfect example as to why you should always look at the free agency. It doesn't matter how much money you have in the budget, you can always find a gem and either transform him into your team or just make good profit off him. If I told Syankov there, 50 million made from a free transfer would have been ridiculous. Obviously, Nelson we brought in from a free transfer and he was part of the Isak deal. So always have a look at the free agent market. As Mangala's move to Atalanta confirmed, he played almost every league game for us in the last 2 seasons, but it was time for him to move on. Hopefully he'll get some more first team football in Italy. We're back up to 47 million now. We made £63.5 million from sales, and we haven't sold any of our key players, so I'm very happy with our transfer business, especially our sales. Very happy indeed. Papa's loan to Middlesbrough is confirmed as we enter the press conference for our second game of the episode, Leicester away. They drew their opener 1-0 away to newly promoted West Brom, so neither side with a victory yet. We played the Foxes earlier last season as well. We lost the season opener to them at the City Ground. Harry Maguire getting sent off as his first game as captain, if you remember. Obviously, the former Fox, Maguire, coming back to the to Leicester's ground today. We did win the reverse fixture, the one at this ground, the King Power Stadium. Burton Diaz bagging a brace. And it was Leicester who were actually the first team to bid for Taiwo Awoniyi this summer, but which we swiftly rejected that offer. Like I said, Maguire returning to his former side once again in an unchanged Forest team. Leicester made a couple of notable transfers. Danny Carvajal, the vet, in at right back, and then Ruben Neves, the very talented Portuguese centre mid, coming in straight in as captain as well for the Foxes. Big respect to that. Same 11 for us as we look to right our wrong from the Leeds opening day victory. Well, we would start on the front foot. Just 13 minutes in, Sayankov and Lodi linking up, whipping a ball into Awoniyi, but the acrobatic bicycle kick goes well wide. Maddison would feed Ramos and he would be through on goal, but Dean Henderson, so quick off his line. How often have we seen him do this in this save? So quick off his line, completely closes down the angle and blocks the shot. Isak with a save, a shot saved by Kepa before he finds his strike partner here, Taiwo Awoniyi. Golden Boot winner from last season. He's off the mark now. It's nice to see the two strikers linking up as well. Nice finish. I mean, if you give Awoniyi that much space in the box, he will punish you. And then another one of the new boys, Lodi, tried to find Awoniyi. The shot was saved by Kepa, and then a weird sequence of events. The ball ends up in the back of the net. The ref had whistled for a foul though. Going into the second half, Nico Williams doing what he does best, finding space in behind. He cuts it back to Awoniyi, who plays it to Vega, and the Frenchman should do better. He fires just wide of the near post from inside the box. 15-20 minutes to go. Leicester do start to turn the screw. Maguire came in with a huge block before Henderson denied Weston McKennie from the edge of the box. Leicester, with 10 minutes to go though, would get their equaliser, cut back to Cunha, and then he cuts it back to Maddison, who just wanders past a snoozing Lopez, and the Foxes are on level terms. I feel like most of the goals conceded on career mode are goals like that, where it's just squared to a man who has an open net. It's a bit frustrating, but it is what it is, I guess. We actually had a good chance. The ball drilled into Sayankov, who was about 8 or 9 yards out. His shot goes straight at Kepa. That was a good chance to win the game there. We didn't. We drew. And I'd have to say it's a disappointing result. I'd definitely say 2 points dropped. We led the game and we dominated in big spells of the match, but we couldn't see it out. And Leicester, the team will always have some push in some part of the game. They had their 10-15 minute spell where they tested us a couple times and they got their equaliser, and that's how the game would end. So 1 point from our first 2 games. Not fantastic, but I'm not too worried. Like I said, it's still very early on in the season. Obviously, there is big pressure on us, though. We've spent a lot of the board expect big things from us now. We're in the Champions League as well, so we have to deliver. As Aidan Smith's loan to Union Berlin gets confirmed, we rejected a bid from Germany and Leipzig, bid over 55 million for 1 year. We rejected that, and then Inter Milan came in for the Nigerian as well. We did sit down and negotiate with them, as I felt they were at a level where they are above us. They're a title contender in their respective leagues, so we thought we would sit down and have a word with them. We demanded that 70 to 80 million pound tag, and they refused to even go anywhere near that. Let me know in the comments. Am I asking too much for Awoniyi? I don't think so. What do you value him as at? As we look at the Champions League draw, Nottingham Forest back in Europe's elite competition for the first time in nearly 50 years, and we will face Juventus, Bayer Leverkusen, and Victoria Pilsen. A very interesting group indeed. The old lady, obviously Juve, a massive, massive side with a lot of history. Xavi Alonso's Bayer Leverkusen, who are going so well in the Bundesliga. Really cool project he's got on there. That will be a tough game. And then a Victoria Pilsen side who are not to be underestimated. That Czech team have thrown up some shock results in the past, so don't put anything past them. It will be a tough group, but I cannot wait to get our Champions League campaign started. It's going to be very, very fun indeed. As we look at the calendar, Our first game in the Champions League is Juventus away. Wow. Potentially probably the toughest game of the group. We have it first. We get it out of the way. Then it's Leverkusen at home, and then it's the back-to-back against Pilsen, which is huge for us. That is massive. We need to pick up 6 points there if we want to get through this group. And then Juventus at home before ending at Leverkusen away in a very, very tough December period. Look at that December. Man City, Man United, Bayer Leverkusen, Chelsea and Liverpool, all within 17 days of each other. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. That December is going to be wild. But we will we'll get to that when we get to it. Where you will see the first Champions League game in the next episode 37, as well as league games against Fulham and Everton. I hope you're enjoying the video and the series. Drop it a like if you are. Make sure to sub to the channel if you aren't already. Big love, and I'll catch you all very soon. Peace.